right, Zach. Does that mean you're hosting?
Yep.
Hosting with the most.
Yep.
And are you rolling? All right, man.
Si, senor.
Take the reins whenever you please.
Chatter.
What?
Chatter.
I'm so intrigued by what's.
Apparently you're not, because when you found out that I had like no news, you're just hosting. You seem disappointed and let down.
I'm not disappointed in your hosting. I'm disappointed in that there's no awesome news. I was excited for you for some news that I didn't know that I did know.
What?
Well, because I know everything.
All right, Biden.
I thought there was news that I didn't know.
Like good news. Like a silver lining.
Did you say Batman?
I said, all right, Biden.
Thanks. It made sense in my head.
Yeah, I'm sure it does in his too.
You know what I mean? Come on, man.
You know, man.
Come on, man.
You go in you stack in the spaghetti sauce in the supermarket.
And
I no longer
and
my age
We
as
were-
a fly.
We were talking about this earlier before you showed up. I said, dude, if you were in a simple job, even in like a bank as a teller, and you couldn't comprise your sentences, you'd be let go.
Yeah.
You would be unfit for the position.
Yep.
Yet somehow he's fit to run a nation.
Yeah.
Has the nuclear codes.
The most powerful. He's going to run us straight into a war.
Oh, and another thing I wanted to touch on was how ridiculous it is that how much more money did we pledge to Ukraine versus $0 to Youngstown?
Yeah.
Anyway, $0
Or
to
Palestine.
America.
$0 to
Palestine
Palestine.
anything, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta,
That should have been a priority to get that cleaned up.
Oh,
They
yeah.
just kind of twiddled.
Apparently, though, the company that, like, it's their stuff they have to pay to clean up.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's nice.
Well,
But there's a little bit of justice.
Have the government take care of it, and then they have to pay back.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
before we get rolling into that, because that can go for all night long.
Forever.
Let's get started with the podcast tonight.
All right.
So we got to come back to it, or
No.
oh, you
At
said
a later
before.
time. At a later time.
As in never.
Before we get rolling into
what
it,
is
the
it?
podcast gets carried away into politics. Let's
Indefinitely
That's not really
postponed.
politics.
yes.
That's-
So it's
yeah, I guess
indefinitely
it is.
postponed.
Is that what they say?
Correct.
Yeah.
Canceled?
No.
Just say canceled.
No,
Indefinitely postponed.
Postponed
Until,
indefinitely.
yes.
So forever.
No. Not canceled.
So on that note,
On canceled?
yes.
Oh, shit.
Oh, no.
What are we talking
I will be your host tonight, and I am taking the reins. These guys don't even know what's going on.
We
tonight.
don't have
No
an
idea.
effing clue, and I'm a
So-
little bit nervous and a little bit excited.
Let's be honest. Do we ever know?
No, we don't.
We think we do sometimes.
But that being said, as well, I am here with my 4 best friends that anybody could have.
Oh, I
I
love
got
Yeah.
Tony,
Hello?
Austin,
Hi.
Chris, and Cam.
Hola.
So, and like I said, tonight I am taking the reins. These guys don't know what's going on,
I don't like being in this position.
and I personally think it's going to be a fun night.
Oh, boy.
man.
But it's also going to be a cringeworthy night.
Oh God.
So
Chris is out of here.
no,
Now Chris is about the cringe.
No,
So-
he's not.
100%.
It
He
depends
is
on-
cringe.
It depends on the type of cringe.
Yeah.
the topic I want to introduce tonight is crazy ER stories.
Oh. Wait, why would you
Chris
hate
is
that?
gone.
He doesn't like the guts and the bloods,
But
the real
he,
ones.
but he hates it when
Oh,
it's.
I was more being sarcastic
It's
and
true.
dramatic.
But it's not guts and bloods. It's more like insane
Like hamsters
stories.
up the anus.
I don't
Oh,
like.
my gosh. You go
Is
right
that
there.
where we're going? Like a comedic approach, or are we talking about heinous acts?
Listen,
Yo, we're about to find out.
We're about to
Dear
find out.
God!
In fact,
I don't like heinous stuff.
I'll start it off with the first story that's
Anus
going to
and
go
anus.
through the entire night. This will set the precedence for the entire night.
Oh, boy.
There we go.
Okay. So,
Hey, does this need a
Parental
advisory?
Actually, yeah, it probably might need one.
Hey, and before you hate us, hit that subscribe and join us down below. Give us that thumbs up because we don't know where it's going to go from here.
Also, if you are by chance like a nurse or anything and worked in the ER or medical or anything like that, share your stories because I'm sure you have plenty.
And
of
don't
them.
listen to the previous podcast.
That's true too.
Unless you're one of the good ones.
Yeah, unless you are one of the
Yeah.
good ones. There are good
Yeah.
ones out there.
Yeah, there are a lot of good.
Okay.
All right.
My mother-in-law was a nurse.
Here we go.
In a medical story pulled straight from the nightmares of every penis haver,
Okay.
a man accidentally got his genitalia injected with insulation foam in an attempt to cure his erectile dysfunction.
That sounds intentional.
It's insulation foam.
What do they call that? Well, people get pleasure off of putting that crap in there.
Oh, okay. So it goes.
What are you talking about?
Just gonna say.
You've never heard about that?
No, what are you even? What?
Hold on, just listen.
Okay.
Gosh.
No, that is a
You're terrifying me.
thing.
No.
Like men do that.
no,
No,
Yes.
no,
No.
men do
Oh,
not do
sorry.
that.
Men don't do that. Weird psychos
Watch
do
the
that.
boys.
Stop it.
All right, so in a case study in a journal called the Urology Case Reports, it details how a 45-year-old American man attempted to cure his erectile dysfunction by inserting various objects into his urethra. Eventually, he and his partner decided to insert a straw attached to a can of insulation foam spray into his urethra. That's when the partner inadvertently pressed the button deploying the foam. According to the case study, the spray then filled up his bladder and urethra. Your guys' faces.
And that stuff expands.
You lost me at the straw. Like I'm just.
See how they keep saying partner? I'm just pointing that out.
It says, this is hilarious. It says, please take a moment now to stop screaming. Because I can.
Feeling woozy.
I just feel like
It gets better.
having nowhere else to expand.
It gets
It's just-
better?
It gets better.
In what
In
way?
what
way.
definition?
What's
If-
your definition of better?
That wasn't enough horror. The man waited 3 weeks before seeking medical attention. During that time, he had difficulty urinating and experienced
Don't
pain
say.
due to the, hardened shards of insulation foam in his penis and bladder. By the time he did go to the emergency room, he was urinating blood and feeling a great amount of pain. Luckily, doctors were able to remove the foam from his bladder.
How?
Unluckily, the foam in
Drill
his
bit.
penis anchored itself in the narrow passageway of his urethra. So the doctors had to perform a penile urethrostomy. This procedure horrifyingly involved cutting into the area between the anus and the penis. The tank.
The gooch. The taint.
tanks. To remove the hardened foam. The operation ultimately went well, or at least as well as the surgery can go. The man was later discharged with the catheter to help him urinate.
Did they fix his ED?
Me too.
It does not say.
So no.
My guess is no.
Why didn't he just go with Viagra or one of the common?
Holy crap. Oh, man.
It's called. People get pleasure from that. I think it's called.
It is. It's legit a real thing out there that people.
It's called sounding or something.
Oh, my God. Why do you even know this?
I don't even want to talk about it. Maybe.
Yeah.
You know the one
Yeah,
story
may have
about when
been
he
trying
sits
to
in the
gross-
bathroom researching before.
No, this was like finding random
Lisa's like,
facts
"You
that'll
want me to
gross
do
people out during a drunk night or something. I don't know. I don't know how I know about that.
Well, thanks for joining
Maybe.
us tonight, folks.
We're
That's
calling
it.
this one early.
That's it.
The gross.
Oh, my God.
Disgusting.
I got this idea from. Have you ever heard of the show? I can't. It's like on Discovery or something. Like
1,000 Ways to Die.
no, it's
think
like
I know what you're
stories
talking
from the ER or something like that, and It's just insane.
This reminds me of my one episode about the morticians.
That's kind of where I got the idea.
Ugh.
A little bit.
Gross.
So,
All right, game on. Let's keep going.
On to
on.
the next one.
as might be expected, many nursing stories involve the unfortunate placement of objects in orifices where they most certainly don't belong, as we learned in the last story. This one is no different. It says Rebecca Lee, a registered nurse from New York, tells the story of when a gentleman came into the emergency room complaining of extreme rectal pain and a foreign body lodged in his anus. Turned out to be a leg of a wooden stool.
Holy
How
hell.
it got there?
In his anus?
Yep.
Let me guess.
How it got there? He fell onto it when the stool was upside down, and it got stuck inside him.
Oh, gosh.
How does it get stuck inside? No, sir.
He then turned
He
around
didn't
and
fall.
said,
He maybe repeatedly fell on it.
he turned around and said, please don't tell my wife.
My butt just took a bite out of this chair.
We're not
Gonna be
taking you to the ER.
coughing
That's what I'm saying. There's no pants residue up in that hole. He just doing
Hey,
nasty.
you know?
Oh, God.
He's checking the
Was
oil.
it a square leg?
I
Was it
imagine,
round?
I picture
gotta
a
be.
I
bar,
imagine just
I
like a
picture
bar
bar
stool.
stool.
I picture
Like-
nodulated.
and then you basically have to
gosh.
can pull out, so you have
Guys,
to cut it off.
Quit
Guys.
being nasty, people. Why are you
Guys.
sticking stuff in there?
Guys,
checking
Just
oil.
freaking. Y'all need to know Jesus.
Look,
don't need
if you're
Jesus.
going to do butt stuff, do it smartly, okay? There are tools that you can buy.
Pre-game.
I'm just saying.
No.
There are. If you want to venture down that path, do you?
Yeah.
Have you ever
There's
seen that?
loads of stores.
Have you ever seen that Family Guy where Peter's like telling the story of the floods or whatever, and it's raining really hard outside, and he goes, "Yeah, you know, God flooded and everything because of people doing butt stuff and everything like that." And so Chris walks to the window, and then it goes into him talking to him in his head, and he goes, "God, if you stop the rains, I will stop doing butt stuff." And then it cuts over to Peter, and he goes, "God, if you'll stop with the rain, I'll stop doing butt stuff." And then it cuts over to Stewie, and he goes, "Let it pour."
Oh my gosh. Creepy little kid.
Okay.
How do you accidentally
You
He
don't.
didn't. He
You
didn't.
don't.
He didn't.
Guess not.
He's just stupid.
Especially if he didn't want his wife to know.
My feet were wet. I was going to get a towel. It's upside down.
We place our stools upside down just
Place the
because
stools upside down.
keeps the top clean.
I hate this so much.
You
Oh,
All
God.
right. Well, it's about.
Oh,
it's
no.
out.
almost
I
like the
hope I don't
plunger
fall.
story.
There's a proper way
If
to
it's gonna go into a crevice again, this is like maybe a nose or something. Like, why does it have to be down
A
there?
nose.
No, what are you talking about?
We're gonna
Like,
go.
if stuff has to go up, like put it up your nose.
Nope.
Like ER wise. I'd rather hear about. I'd rather hear about like, oh, this horrible story of this kid who got a crayon up his nose.
Oh,
Why does it
okay,
have to be a
okay,
bar
I
stool?
got a
Yes.
story. Little BB pellets.
Uh-huh.
I put one in my ear, just barely enough, and I thought I could plug my nose and it would shoot out my ear. It didn't do it. I tried to dig it out. It went into my ear canal. I had to go to the doctor and have them literally put a suction thing in there and had to suction it out.
What did Kara think when she? Oh, this was
Yeah.
years and years ago.
No, it was
Oh,
like
Zach,
it was like a
again?
month ago.
That's what she said.
All right, next one. The most gruesome of case of something getting stuck where it shouldn't be
on the nose.
was one that is certain was a mistake. Middle-aged man was experiencing terrible kidney stones. He was in such terrible pain that he didn't know what else to do, so he inserted a glass tube into his urethra.
Oh no!
If that wasn't bad enough, as he
Stop.
did so,
Stop. Glass break. Stop.
Yes, that's what we all know. That's where it's headed.
he involuntarily kegled,
Oh no.
There ain't no way a kegel's that strong.
I mean, you
causing
gotta think, how small is the glass?
the tube to get sucked up further into his urethra.
Oh, that's going
What
a
did he
different
shove
way.
up there?
A glass
Glass
straw.
tube.
Or tube.
Tube
Yeah.
of what?
Just a glass
No,
tube.
a glass tube, like a straw, but made out of glass.
Yeah.
He's trying to have those stones go ding, 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 ding.
Oh my god!
The sudden movement caused the tube to shatter in his urethra.
Dude, that urethra is like a Hulk, bro. That thing's got some compression power.
This is where Darwinism needs to take effect.
These are basically Darwinistic traits that we're listening to.
Weed it out.
I think I just ruptured a disc in my
I
back.
mean, on the bright
Wow.
side, the odds of these men being able to procreate is slim.
Right?
So-
that is,
They're basically
That is
taking
true.
themselves out of the gene pool.
They find a way. Life.
I mean, they're all
finds a
middle-aged.
way.
They probably
Finds a way.
they're all middle-aged. They're all done procreating.
you'd hope so.
Oh no, we hope
I hope
not.
they didn't at all, ever.
Don't need more of them.
Is there more to it?
That was it.
Bro code. You stick something in your pee-pee, you're out the bro. You're not a bro.
Give me your man card.
Get out.
Get.
Man card and leave the pee-pee behind.
This is turning out a lot better than I thought it would.
You're all done? That's all of them?
No.
Oh, I thought you said that you were all done.
No.
Okay.
I wish I was.
I had this story that I read on Reddit. It was horrifying.
Oh gosh.
And I want to find it, but I'm trying to like. It's not the one I shared with you guys that one night.
Okay.
Oh, that one was.
If you find it and you want to tell it, let me know.
Okay.
All right. In 1974, nurse says, when I was an orderly while attending nursing school, we had a gentleman brought in who had been injured in a car wreck. He needed facial surgery and a jaw wiring. He noticed that the man's wife seemed really anxious. He could also tell that they were not financially well off. Finally, just before the wiring of his jaw took place, the wife spoke up asking if she could remove her husband's dentures. Turned out that they shared the same dentures, which they had purchased secondhand from a local funeral director.
Oh my god.
Using dead people's teeth?
Yep.
I mean,
And they're sharing them. So when someone wants to eat food, they use the dentures, and then when the other one wants to eat, they just pass the dentures over, and the other one.
You know, I
eats.
feel like we should be like more grossed out about this, but after the preceding three things, it doesn't seem that bad.
I mean,
They're getting an
Have they
appetizer
been?
and then their
Have they
meal.
been in his urethra?
I was gonna say,
Maybe.
Okay.
they're just
You know, they're just financially frugal.
they're on a budget. Like,
Teeth are not cheap.
I'm gonna relate here soon.
Can you not? Yeah, can't blame them. Can you
Gross.
imagine?
What else
like
can
they
you buy
get
from-
home and they're really hungry and they like, you know how most people race to the bathroom, go to the bathroom? They race to the teeth so they can eat first.
Teeth are mine, I call
You
them.
know, in a weird way, do you know what that kind of reminds me of? Have you ever seen the movie The 13th Warrior?
Yep.
No.
It's a great movie.
You've seen it?
Antonio Banderas.
Any of you guys? Is Chris the only one?
Yeah.
There's a scene, so it's about Vikings, the Norsemen, and but there's this scene when they're kind of at this big, or no, it's the night, or it's the morning after. They're at this big banquet, drinking, having a great time, everything, and then they all just kind of pass out wherever they're at. The next morning, as they're all kind of waking up, they're all passing around a big bowl of water, and that's their like morning bath water in a way, and they're all taking turns like splashing it on their face, kind of waking up, but then it gets like they're blowing their nose into it, spitting into it, pass it to the next guy like takes a little bit of a drink, swishes it around, spits it out, passes it, and they all take their turn passing it around, doing their just morning cleansing because they don't brush teeth or anything like that, but that bowl is their morning cleanse.
Why wouldn't they spit elsewhere?
Because then you're wasting the water.
That's horrible.
There's got to remain enough to make it around the room.
That's horrible.
Why won't you blow your nose somewhere? Yeah.
Yeah. Why wouldn't
The
you? blow your
nose, yeah, that was.
It's probably like a
Hygiene wasn't invented yet.
intimidation thing or something like to the other ones.
No.
Apparently, COVID didn't exist back then.
Didn't exist now either.
I was gonna say that earlier.
Demonetized.
We were talking about COVID. I'm like, where did it go?
Canceled.
It just disappeared.
I just got it recently. So the test said.
Yeah, so the test said.
But who gave you that test?
I took it.
Next one. All diabetics should know the triggers that raise their blood sugar levels, but this woman simply ignored them. Said, this one patient I had was extremely overweight and diabetic. No matter how much insulin we gave her, no matter how much we kept a sharp eye on her diet, we could not get her blood sugar levels to stabilize. It remained a mystery until the nurse helped the woman to change her hospital gown. That's when bits of fried rice and chicken wings began to fall out of crevices between her thighs and her stomach. It turned out her son had been sneaking food into her and she'd been hiding it in the folds of her skin.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh, dude.
No.
Dude, I like
You gonna die.
Right? You
Stop.
are on your deathbed. Like, what are you doing?
Oh my god.
How old was her son?
I didn't say. I don't know.
Jeez. It reminds me of.
I'm not gonna say.
same age Johnny Depp was when he was
Say
putting
it.
beams underneath his mom.
Say it.
Right.
I'll tell you later.
Say it.
No.
It reminds me of.
Tell me one good thing about yourself.
You say it and I will.
No.
It reminds me of Dr. Dolittle with Eddie Murphy, where he's got that one patient who keeps coming in and she's all
eats
hived
the
up,
shellfish.
and she keeps eating the shellfish, and he keeps telling her stay away from it, and she just can't, and it keeps making her break out in hives, and her eyes swell shut. And
Gosh. Gross.
you got more?
Oh, I got more.
That's good.
Right? This one's a,
Oh, good.
this one's a good
Great.
one. There's a patient who arrived unconscious after a fight with another vagrant. We struggled to fathom why until we realized that what appeared to be his pupil was actually the end of a ballpoint pen. It had been inserted through his eye and was embedded firmly inside his brain.
Wait. Wait, what?
So,
Like the entire pen.
person
Yeah.
came in and they didn't understand why he was there. A ballpoint pen had gone right through his pupil into his brain, and when they looked at his eye, it looked like a normal eye. The ballpoint pen was so far in that it looked like
Like,
a
yeah,
normal-
we're talking like the entire pen was inside his head. He was alive?
All right, there's two things to this story. Either the guy A met Joker, or B met John Wick. Right?
right. You want to see me do a magic trick?
Dude.
With a pen.
I mean,
Fucking pencil.
how is it not obvious? How is it not obvious when you can't move your eyeball around?
Well, he's unconscious. Didn't it say he was
I-
unconscious
yeah.
coming in?
Oh, he was unconscious.
So are we sure he's not dead?
As far as this goes, he wasn't dead.
You'd think there'd be other signs.
He's gotta be dead.
I don't know. There's some pretty miraculous things. Like
True.
if you miss some parts in the brain, like
Yeah.
it's not going to kill you.
It's like we learned in Hannibal.
No, but I mean with the pen. So is the end of the pen.
Oh god, this is making me
I
nauseous.
mean, it's wider before the end of it. So
Oh,
you'd think there'd be
oh.
some bits coming out
But
of the
think about
eyeball.
it. If your eyes are dilated, your eye's gonna be bigger than the pen.
Well, I get that.
And if there's no lid on the pen, like it's just
It's a
one of
black pen.
those- I can
there
picture
should be
it
some
now.
juices.
Well, yeah. Wouldn't there be like a ton of blood or something?
I don't know.
Not if it was through the eye just right. Like
Not
I
if it
feel
just
like
got
sealed
just
it right.
perfectly in there.
I want to know
mean, I've
who this
learned-
guy was that put the pen there.
Another vagrant.
I've learned a lot
like,
of things
that's-
going pig hunting, and that's that not all the time when you cut things do they bleed.
Right. Yeah.
It is wild how much you can cut something and it will not bleed.
Weird.
It is freaking bananas. grossed me out. Anyway, press on.
I really want to. I want to know the backstory.
I mean,
to
there's
this
that.
one.
I wish I knew
remember
more.
that story.
I pulled up the link to it and everything. There really wasn't too much to it. So
I remember there's that story. I think it was in like Reader's Digest of the guy that he was roofing, and somehow he backfired a nail gun, and the nail shot into his mouth, into the roof of his mouth, and like up into his sinuses.
yeah,
And it happened so quick, and in a way that it didn't like disturb his nerves. It felt like he got like hit in the jaw or something, but he was fine. And then he just had a headache, and went to the hospital later, and they took X-rays, and the nail was just
Nail
in his
just in
skull.
That reminds me. I want to say it was like a Ripley's Believe It or Not or something one time, where there was this woman, older lady. I think like old enough, your classic kind of white hair, curly. She was just minding her business, walking down the street, and this guy came up and hit her in the head. And, she was dazed and everything, but all in all was okay. Guy ran off. So she kept on doing her thing, went into the local convenience store, and the cashier of the convenience store started freaking out. And come to find out, she had a knife in her head. The guy had walked up and stuck like it was like a
about this,
hunter's
yeah.
knife. It wasn't just like a small knife. It was like a full-blown, like a 6-inch blade. Stuck it in her head, and she had no idea. And they showed video of it on the security cameras of the convenience store. You can see the handle of the knife sticking out of her head, and she was completely fine, just going about her business.
I
And
heard
just,
about that actually.
yeah. So yeah, I can
Yep.
see why it's.
What the freak,
I don't mess with gray matter.
dude?
Brains are weird, man.
So this next one's about Achilles tendons.
Ah,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I was about to leave.
I'm kidding. I can already see you tense over there. I had to.
Oh.
I legit was gonna walk away. I was like, I'm not gonna be here for the story. I'm out.
I would never do that to you.
Thank you.
Would
I
never.
appreciate that so much. I appreciate that.
Okay. So this one, there's a young couple who would try to remove a lost condom unsuccessfully with a pair of spoons
Where was it lost?
in the vagina.
Oh, so
I mean,
logical.
not really lost.
I mean,
Misplaced.
with spoons.
Better than forks. Let's
Just-
be honest.
I mean, so far this story isn't like.
Can you not?
The guy pulled out, no condom was there,
But, like,
and
This motion, people. Like,
Maybe it was a ways up there.
got a pair of spoons.
Some of them are longer than others.
okay.
They had failed.
You know what you need is
some volume.
those.
Grabber. Grabber hands.
No, I'm thinking
Tongs.
Tongs. Yeah,
The,
just grab some tongs. What?
every dad. Gotta do the two. Right before you use them. That's it's protocol.
Yep. Just like slapping a bunch of stuff you tied down and saying that's not going anywhere.
Or a bag of soil.
All I can see is this lady on the bed, and he's just like,
It's got the oven mitt on.
He's got the kiss the chef apron on.
It's like, honey, I'm
some
going in.
having to do with seafood.
Yeah,
Lobster claw.
the oven mitt is the lobster claw.
Oh my gosh. So, anyways,
I think my grandpa had one of those.
lobster claw.
Lobster claw like oven mitt. Yeah.
A good sniff. Is that what
I smell barbecue. Anywho,
So it goes on, and it says they had failed. They told us, and we're worried. They couldn't find this condom anywhere, so they go to the ER room because they're worried something's going to happen. So in we went, and the doctor said that there was no condom. Couldn't find one. They had been trying to pull out her cervix with spoons. That's what they were doing. He thought that he had the condom, and they were literally pulling at her cervix.
Did it not hurt?
My cervix that's not there hurts right now.
Hold on.
I want to know, number one, were they drunk or high to think? I mean,
Nope, he's just a liar.
like,
He
how
wanted to raw dog it.
does he tell her that? Yeah, I've got a condom on, and then pulls out and goes, "Oh, there was no condom." What
Oh no,
happened to
where'd
it?
it go?
Where did
Or they
this
pulled out
condom
and it
go?
fell on the ground. That's the thing. Like it was.
Oh my god!
I
we
just
need to
picture like a
walk
balloon when the
around.
guys are tying the balloon.
I picture a cartoon style where he's like, "Oh, I got it, I got it," and it's like scratching
Disgusting.
Oh yeah, that hurt my cervix that I don't have with that one.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
Seriously, how would she not be like freaking out?
I'm
or,
sure
like,
she was, but you got to get the condom out.
Why?
Why would it stick so bad like that?
Because I don't. Maybe it was their
Makes
first
no
time.
sense.
You need to have these answers.
I
Did they
honestly-
lube up with glue? Like that's the only explanation.
I honestly saw this going up the urethra. I thought that was the only plausible solution.
Spoons up the urethra.
No.
I thought they were gonna lose a spoon.
I was like, great.
just-
Here's
Like,
another
what is it? Can you
urethra
like
joke.
echo? It's like echo.
It's like the Bantam Pit on Star Wars.
It's the newest gate to Narnia.
You got to knock 3 times.
Goodness. See, I mean, my logical brain is just like, you just douche it out. Like, you take the shower or something.
Yeah.
Just douche it out.
Is that a Turkish delight?
I mean, knocking 3 times isn't abnormal.
Maybe that's it. We're all just trying to find the gate.
Would you like some Turkish delight?
How's this doorbell work?
Oh, reminds me. Thumb wrestling.
Oh, it's one of those door handles with the thumb.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It twitched.
Okay.
We all need Jesus.
I do. I need to go to church on Sunday.
Man.
You guys are horrible.
All right. This next one, if you are a man and this happens to you, you're stupid. I mean, all these other ones, but this one's bad. This
Noted.
What?
Duly
Oh, boy.
noted.
one responded to a call one time. Said he arrived to find a large naked man sitting on a chair in the garage.
Oh, I've seen this one.
Ah, the naked man.
When I asked why he called, he opened his legs, where I saw that his scrotum was hugely swollen, mostly black, and had maggots crawling all over it. That is all he says about the story. That is all he says. They get a phone call, and that's literally, the guy called 911 and said, send someone over. You good, Chris?
You good, bud?
I don't like maggots at all.
Please help. You
Dude,
got
same,
me.
same.
I don't. They're creepy bastards. Crawling, rotten. Oh, they creep like just seeing maggots.
They just grow and rot.
They have those
flesh.
videos.
How do you let your...
I get that part. I'm trying not to think of it.
Okay.
But the mealworms that they put the stuff in and you watch it eat, how long it takes a mealworm to eat this stuff, I can't watch that stuff.
What
I
if it
can't.
had?
None of it.
Have you seen like when dogs get those holes and they like pop the maggots out of the holes like a zit? What if it was like that, but on his
Yeah,
scrotum?
payback. Oh. Payback.
Oh, the mango worms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it looks like
no.
those plants that have the little pockets. pods.
Oh.
It's like that, but on his
Hey,
scrotum.
what's the fear of holes? Like when
It's a
I know what you're
legitimate
talking about.
fear.
Oh, I hate it.
I can't remember.
I don't
what it's
have
called.
the fear, but seeing those weird.
But if there's-
Oh, I
when
love
they
seeing
take those
those
holes and
pictures.
put them on people, it
Yeah.
does creep me out.
Doesn't creep me out. I love those.
Have you seen it with the dogs though?
Yes.
When they start-
Yes.
where they're
seen
extracting
it.
the mango worms. Yeah.
Trypophobia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ew. I don't like it.
Isn't it trypophobia?
Trypophobia.
Same thing.
No.
I
One,
don't
you're
like
afraid
maggots.
of trips.
I just don't
I
like
hate
maggots.
this. I hate it.
I. Oh my gosh.
Whoa!
Why the noise? Why?
what it's.
Yeah, why are you doing it?
Sounds like a maggot eating on a scrotum.
Welcome to my world.
I want to know that backstory. How?
Could be an overly large man that you just never clean yourself.
You know,
Yeah.
that reminds
It
me.
gets
that large?
infected.
That reminds me of the movie Seven for some reason.
Oh, gluttony.
Yeah.
Gluttony.
It's
or whatever.
trypophobia.
Gluttony, yeah.
Trypophobia for real?
Trypophobia.
Oh,
Trypophobia.
The fear of holes.
Phobia.
what's in the box?
Trypophobia.
What's in the box? Didn't we talk about that?
What?
We did talk about. I was thinking about this the other day
What's in the
because they never show what's in the box.
No.
Yeah.
They never show it, but you know they.
Oh, yeah,
What's
you know
in it,
what's
but
in
they
it.
never show it.
But for some reason the other day I was like, do they show it? And I just didn't see it because it was edited. And then I was
That's
like, we
what's-
talked about this, but I don't remember what we said.
That's what's so great about that movie is because they didn't show it.
Yes.
What's in the box?
Her pretty
It's
hat.
your wife's head, bud.
All right,
Kinda
I got
like
one
that.
more.
Bro.
It's your bro.
You good?
No, I'm not.
Well, I got one more,
Oh, God.
and this one's a long one,
Okay.
and this one's a trip. This is
Why are you asking me?
no?
Why are you
this-
like looking at him?
I
this
know.
whole-
because he's got like the best features out of everybody. I'm sorry, like
Best features.
yes, your facial
cute.
features. You are
You are something to look at, bud.
you are
You are a tall glass of water.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
You're a warm milk red
That's the best compliment I've gotten all week.
Swooning him.
This one's a trip, and I think you guys are going to be along for the ride.
No.
This one,
Well, we have no choice.
yep,
Yeah.
you have no choice, but I
We're
think
Oh, you can get up and
captive
walk
audience.
nope, you can't get up and walk out.
out. Oh.
You're stuck.
Oh
It's a
boy.
dictatorship then.
If I can't get up and walk out, you guys can't get up and walk out.
You chose this path.
Ow, 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 ow! I got a Charlie horse.
Karma.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what you get.
Instant karma.
Kick the leg straight.
That's the Lord telling you to get the hence.
Get up and walk out.
He can't. The Lord has bound him.
Oh my gosh!
Punch it, Tony. Punch it.
Yeah, for real.
Don't punch it. Don't punch it.
Punch his shoulder.
Straighten your leg.
Stand up.
You want me? You want me to show you?
Tony,
tricks?
straighten his leg. Push it out. Push it out.
Wait, don't get it,
Oh my
Chris.
gosh, Chris.
No, Chris. This is so dumb.
This is on camera.
Push it out.
Oh, gosh.
Oh my god. Stand up.
Is it still going?
It's still going. Okay, it's calming down. We're good.
Eat a banana.
Bro, I just ate a banana. This is exactly what I didn't want to happen to me.
Dude, that Charlie horse hit hard.
You're crying.
I know. Because it hurts.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know.
Good.
For me,
I've seen some things in my life, but I don't
Those
know if
ones
I've
all-
seen a clearer sign than that.
when I get those, I stand up. Tighten the leg as tight as you can and stand up.
Oh, that hurts so bad.
You gotta push through the pain.
You gotta stretch it out.
Oh, by the way, why were you were down there rubbing my leg?
That wasn't me. I was rubbing below your knee, right there, and you push on those pressure points. You didn't see me when I came up, did you? I went,
Gross. Urethra beware.
Oh, my God.
Oh, what
don't
a night.
waste it.
What a night.
Doritos. I rubbed so you got a pressure point right there below your knee, so I stretched it out and then pushed right below the knee on the calf, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still going.
Yeah.
It hurts so
Well,
bad.
It's because you were twitching.
Where is it? Is it
Behind
your
your
thigh?
thigh?
Literally my thigh.
Like your
On
quad
the
or
back
your
of
hamstring?
the back of my leg.
Your hamstring. You need to straighten your leg out.
I can't. It hurts.
gotta
That's the
straighten it.
point.
through it.
The muscle is it's closing itself. It's tensing up, so you have to stretch it back out for it to release.
Do we need to timestamp this?
Dude, it's
No, this is great.
This is gold.
41
This
minutes.
is
Okay, well, we're just gonna sit here like this.
Oh gosh.
Telling you, stand up.
Try farting.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
Say it, stand up.
Bananas, man.
Take a
Bananas.
second and
You don't have to eat a
stand
banana.
up.
Just take some potassium.
oh, I can't stand up.
You got it.
can.
Put weight on it.
Put weight on it, tighten it, straighten it as
Push
tight as
your
you
knee
can.
back. Push your knee back.
Oh,
Yeah.
it feels so
It'll-
good though.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, it feels so good.
Oh,
Stretch
so
it out.
good and so tasty.
Now touch your toes. Now walk it out. Now walk it out.
Doom, doom, doom,
Watch as I walk it out.
boom, boom, boom.
Is that stretch? Is it better now?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I read
You gotta
somewhere
roll
that
it out, man.
one of the
Encouragement.
one of the things that everyone lacks is magnesium.
How do I get magnesium?
You take pills
You can take supplements or
or eat metal, or as we've seen today, you can insert it.
No.
Through an aerosol can.
Okay, that's a little bit better. That's gonna be sore in the morning.
Gosh.
why would it be sore?
That's the most intense Charlie horse I think I've ever witnessed.
That's the first time I've ever had one there.
Really? You're
Yeah.
lucky. That's where I have gotten them in the past.
Man.
Middle of a restaurant one time, I had to shoot up and stand up in the middle.
The only place I've gotten is on the bottom of my feet where it runs and then
Oh.
up in
Like
my
in the
ankle.
arch of your
Yeah,
foot.
yeah.
Dude, I
You
got
need
them in both
pumpkin
calves.
seeds.
Pumpkin
There you go.
seeds.
Yep. Pumpkin seeds have magnesium, cashew butter, dried prunes, white beans, avocados, almonds. There you go. Eat some
Yeah, almonds.
Dude, it is
seriously
seriously
Chickpeas,
tightening up.
edamame.
But most people are pretty like deficient in
Did you dare
magnesium.
feel it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
why there's a lot of sleeping disorders. It's because
Actually, I've started taking magnesium and potassium.
Feel that bump?
Yeah.
I get plenty of salt.
I take a whole food vitamin that has
You think
all that.
you were the one that
Works
went
awesome.
snowboarding today?
Man.
I once had a Charlie horse in both of my calves at the exact
Charlie
same
hose.
time. I was a Charlie horse. Charlie horse. I was telling my mama.
That's
Charlie
different than
horse.
Charlie's Angels. Charlie's Hose.
I was thinking pantyhose.
But I was laying in a
Charlie's
recliner
going
and I
up, stretching
stretched
it
and you
out.
like point your toes
Yeah.
and both of them locked
But like,
and like grabbed and I just started screaming because I had no idea what was happening. I was like 15.
stretch out that.
And my mom was in there and she's like, what? And I'm like, what? Oh my calves. I can't move my feet. And she like grabbed my leg and just shoved
forced
my
them?
feet up. Yep. I was like, ah! What was that? It was terrifying.
I remember
outer
when
body
Jenny was pregnant
experience.
with Jude, she got one in her calf so bad she was just crying, like just full on crying. And anything I tried to do like that, she was just screaming at me, "Don't touch it, don't touch it." I'm like, "We gotta like stretch it out." She's like, "Just don't touch it." And oh, I felt so bad. It was like in the middle of the night, woke her up out of her sleep. I thought she was fighting demons, man. I was like, "Oh my
You gotta
gosh.
you gotta attack it aggressive, otherwise before it sets in.
Yeah.
You gotta really stretch it.
All right, we're good.
Stretch it and then roll it. If you gotta roll
My
it.
apologies, everybody. That was intense.
You're sweating.
That was a scene.
That was a workout.
Kara's going to have some questions for you. Coming limping, crying, and sweating.
See, now on one of the past episodes, we talked about that happening during sex.
Oh,
It happens.
that
It
no,
sucks.
thank you. I'd be done,
Didn't
whether
we
I
talk
want it
about,
to
like,
be or not.
Didn't we talk about like launching your wife off the bed?
No planking on her. That's what it is. You immediately straighten and. Sorry. Anyway.
All right, so on to the last one. OR nurse says, I was taking a call one night, woke up at 2 a.m. for a general surgery call. Pretty vague, but at the time I lived in a town that had large populations of young military guys and avid meth users, so late night emergencies were common. Got to the hospital where a few more details awaited me. It says a perirectal abscess. For the uninitiated, this means that somewhere in the immediate vicinity of the asshole, there was a pocket of pus that needed draining. Needless to say, our entire crew was less than thrilled. I went down to the emergency room to transport the patient. The only thing the ER nurse said was that as she handed me the chart, was have fun with this one. Amongst healthcare professionals, vague statements like that are a bad sign. My patient...
This was the story I was wanting to share.
Is it?
Yes. This is the exact story I was looking for. Go ahead.
Good.
Go ahead.
Says my patient was a 314-pound Native American woman who barely fit on the stretcher I was transporting her on. She was rolling frantically side to side and moaning in pain, pulling at her clothes and muttering Hail Marys. I could barely get her name out of her after a few minutes of questioning, so after I confirmed her identity and what we were working on, I figured it was best just to get her to the anesthesiologist so we could knock her out and get this circus started. She continued her theatrics the entire 10-minute ride to the OR, nearly falling off the surgical table as we were trying to put her under anesthetic. We see patients like this a lot, though, chronic drug abusers who don't handle pain well and who have used so many drugs that even increased levels of pain medication don't simply touch them simply because of the high tolerance levels. Should be noted, tonight's surgical team was not exactly wet behind the ears. He says, I've been working in healthcare for several years already, mostly psych and medical settings. I've watched an 88-year-old man tear a 1-inch diameter catheter balloon out of his penis while screaming, "You'll never make me talk." He said, I've been attacked by an HIV positive neo-Nazi.
Oh my God.
He goes, needless to say, I've seen some shit. The other nurse had been in the OR as a trauma specialist for over 10 years. The anesthesiologist had done residency at a level 1 trauma center, or as we call them, knife and gun clubs.
Jeez.
The surgeon was an ex-Army and averaged above 8 words and 2 facial expressions a week. None of us expected what was about to happen next.
Oh no.
We got the lady off to sleep, put her into stirrups, and I began washing off the rectal area. It was red and inflamed. A little bit of pus was seeping through, but it was all pretty standard. Her chart had noted that she had been injecting IV drugs through her perineum
Her butthole.
or her taint.
That's
That's the one.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
She was injecting drugs right directly into her taint or her butt.
Frack.
gross.
So this was
needle
obviously an infection
Real
from
gross.
dirty needles or bad drugs, but overall, it didn't seem to warrant her repeating cries of, "Oh, Jesus, kill me now." The surgeon steps up with a scalpel, sinks just the tip in, and
Why you gotta say it like that?
I'm reading out how he said it.
gosh.
And at that exact same moment, the patient had a muscle twitch in her
Oh,
diaphragm. And just like that, all hell broke loose.
Oh no.
Unbeknownst to us, the infection had actually tunneled nearly a foot into her abdomen,
A foot?
creating a vast cavern full of pus, rotten tissue, and fecal matter that had seeped outside of her colon. This godforsaken mixture came rocketing out of that little incision like we were recreating the funeral scene from Jane Austen's Mafia.
It's like Old Faithful.
He says we were all wearing waterproof gowns, face masks, gloves, hats, the works, all of which were as helpful as rain boots against a fire hose.
Oh my gosh.
The bed was in the middle of the room, an easy 7 feet from the nearest wall. But by the time we were done, I was still finding bits of rotten flesh pasted against the back wall.
Oh my God.
As the surgeon continued to advance his blade, the torrent just continued. The patient kept seizing against the ventilator, not uncommon in surgery, and with every muscle contraction, she shot more of this brackish gray brown fluid out onto the floor until within minutes, it was seeping into the other nurse's shoes.
She was unconscious?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
I was nearly 12 feet away, jaw dropped, open within my surgical mask.
Shut your mouth.
Watching the second nurse dry heaving and the surgeon standing on his tiptoes to keep this stuff from soaking his socks any further. The smell hit them first. Oh God, just threw up in my mask. The other nurse was out.
Oh my god.
She tore off her mask and sprinted out of the room, shoulders still heaving. Then it hit me, mouth still wide open. Not able to believe the volume of fluid this woman's body contained. It was like getting a great big bite of despair and apathy that permitted this woman's life. I couldn't effing breathe. My lungs simply refused to pull any more of that stuff in. The anesthesiologist went down next, an ex-NCAA D1 tailback, his 6'2" frame shaking as he threw open the door to the OR suite in an attempt to get more air in, letting me glimpse the second nurse still throwing up in the sinks outside the door. Another geyser of pus splashed across the front of the surgeon.
Oh my gosh.
He says, the YouTube clip of David at the dentist keeps playing in my head. Is this real life? I've never seen that clip.
It's
But
he gets his wisdom teeth removed.
Is
And he's
this
like,
gonna
is
be
this
forever?"
real life? He's like in the back seat.
okay. In all operating rooms everywhere in the world, regardless of socialized or privatized, secular or religious, big or small, there is one thing the same. Somewhere there is a bottle of peppermint concentrate. Everyone in the department knows where it is. Everyone knows what it is for, and everyone prays to their gods that they never have to use it. Times like this, we rub it on the inside of our masks to keep the outside smell of bay long enough to finish the procedure and shower off. I sprinted to our central supply, ripping open the drawer where this vial of ambrosia was kept and was greeted by an empty box. The bottle had been emptied and not replaced. Somewhere out there was a godless bastard who had used the last of the peppermint oil and not replaced a single effing drop of it. To this day, if I figure out who it was, I will kill them with my bare hands, but not before cramming their head up the colon of every last meth user I can find, just so we're even. I darted back into the room with the next best thing I could find, a vial of mastisol, which is an adhesive rub we use sometimes for bandaging. It's not as good as peppermint, but considering that over 1/3 of the floor was now thoroughly coated in what could easily be mistaken for a combination of bovine afterbirth and maple syrup, we were out of options. I started rubbing as much as of the mastisol as I could get on the inside of my mask. Just glad to be smelling anything except whatever slimy demon spawn we just cut out of this woman. The anesthesiologist grabbed the vial next, dousing the front of his mask in it so he could stand next to his machines long enough to make sure the woman didn't die on the table. It wasn't until later that we realized that the mastisol can give you a mild high from huffing it like this. But in retrospect, that's probably what got us through. By this time, the smell had permeated out of our OR suite and down the 40-foot hallway to the front desk, where the other nurse still sat, eyes bloodshot and watery, clenching her stomach desperately. Our suite looked like the underground river of ooze from Ghostbusters 2, except dirty. Oh, so dirty.
Oh my.
He says, I stepped back into the OR suite, not wanting to leave the surgeon by himself in case he genuinely needed help. It was like one of those overly artistic representations of a zombie apocalypse you see in a fan forums. Here's this one guy in blue surgical garb standing nearly ankle deep in lumps of dead tissue, fecal matter, and several liters of syrupy infection. He was performing surgery in the swamps of Dagobah, except the swamps had just come out of this woman's ass and there was no Yoda.
Oh my god.
He and I didn't say a word for the next 10 minutes as he scraped the insides of the abscess until all the dead tissue was out. The front of his gown, a gruesome mixture of brown and red. His eyes squinted against the stinging vapors originating directly in front of him. I finished my required paperwork as quickly as I could, helped him stuff the recently vacated opening full of gauze, taped this woman's buttocks closed to hold the dressing for as long as possible, woke her up, and immediately shipped her off to the recovery ward.
Wait,
Until
what do they do with the gauze?
you shove it in the hole.
Yeah.
And then
you,
what?
You put it in
Does
the
it
gauze.
come
and-
out?
Yeah.
you
they'll-
have to
they'll-
change
they'll
it out
remove it.
intersparingly.
Yeah.
It's in. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Yeah, until it's healed, you have to change it out intersparingly. He says, until then, I'd only heard of alcohol showers. Turns out 70% isopropyl or isopropyl alcohol is about the only thing that can even touch a scent like that once it's soaked into your skin. Takes 4 or 5 bottles to get really clean, but it's worth it. And it's probably the only scenario I can honestly endorse drinking a little of it too. As we left the locker room, the surgeon and I looked at each other, and he said the only negative sentence I heard him utter in the 2.5 years of working together, that was bad. The next morning, the entire department, a fairly large floor within the hospital, still smelled. The housekeepers told me later that it took them nearly an hour to suction up all the fluid and debris left behind. The OR suite itself was closed off and quarantined for 2 days just to let the smell finally clear out. He says, I laugh now when I hear new recruits to healthcare talk about the worst thing they've ever seen. He says, you ain't seen shit, kid. And then he goes, TLDR, don't shoot IV drugs into your taint.
Yeah. That was the exact story I was looking for. Because I remember reading that and just being like, what?
I read that. I was in tears by the time I got through with that. I was like, you have got to be kidding me.
I picture The Exorcist throwing up.
Right? Just a pop and just.
Look.
I picture her being willed out of there 300 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
Look at my second search. Reddit, horror stories, nurse, floor. All I could remember was the floor being covered, and I didn't know what else to search for. My gosh. Yeah. Disgusting.
Yeah.
Gosh.
I think of
I am
that.
so happy.
I mean, you
felt
think
that.
about it, like, he said the closest wall was like 7 feet away, and they were still fighting scraps after, like, they cleared everything up. Like, it just was spewing.
I think of that video of Katy Perry getting slimed.
I don't know if I've seen that.
She like opens the box and it like blasts her in the face and she like falls down.
Honestly,
like a
I feel
Nickelodeon
bad
show.
for her because it hits her blindly. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. That's the most
Well, that's a
disgusting thing
note
I've
to
ever
end
heard.
on.
Yep.
Now we're all queasy, sick, and
No kidding.
I did tell Tony on the way here, this isn't for the lighthearted.
you should have said that at the beginning.
Well, that's the
I
fun
could-
of it.
The hard thing is you can take this isn't for the lighthearted in so many ways. Like maybe it's scary, maybe it's
The faint of heart.
I don't know. That
This is why I couldn't. Number one, for that, I could never do doctor stuff.
Oh, not even remotely.
Num-
I don't even have like if some stranger gets a booger on me, I'm done.
Right? Well,
Like I'm done.
number two,
My own kid gets a booger on me. I'm
dude.
done, dude.
Oh.
I get queasy like when I see like legit, like not blood, but like legit open wounds and like big open wounds. Oh no, like I can't. Like
see that kind of stuff I could take that all day.
I could not.
But
I can do it
Colors
watching
he was
movies.
describing.
but yeah, that
Right?
or the guy with the maggot scrotum.
That one bugged me worse for some reason.
I was past. I wasn't even thinking about that. Thanks. I'd moved on.
Oh. Should we start over? Should we,
Great.
should we talk about the
You want to go back
Don't
to
even-
that one?
It's already back in there.
I need help.
What's weird is
we all do.
I thought I was like you in that I'd be queasy with big opening, like
Yeah.
But watching them dress a pig and
I
that's
can't.
what field dressing, right? That's what it's called.
So literally when we had to dissect a frog back in science class in like what 11th grade,
Oh, yeah.
10th grade or whatever, I couldn't.
I don't think I
My
did
my
either.
lab partner was a girl. Seriously, she had to do everything. I was about ready to puke. The smell,
Yep.
and then when she grabbed the thing and started cutting them open, I lost it. I turned around. I was like, "You got to do it.
I never
I
got to
cannot
do
do
that.
this."
I never
it's the
got
same.
to
We had
either.
to do it, and I think I barely held it together.
Yep. She was like pulling out the liver and the lungs, or just all the little small sections. And I went to the teacher and I was like, I cannot do this today.
What
And
was
he-
the point of that?
I don't know.
It's biology.
Yeah.
You're just learning.
Look at a picture.
But
Why do I
It's not
gotta?
the same.
the
Why do I
smell-
gotta do it?
The smell alone was
What is
horrendous.
knowing about a frog's insides? How does that help me?
Formaldehyde. That was the formaldehyde.
Yeah.
It's a good
I
point.
just, yeah.
Did
But
I ever tell you the story about when I did go pig hunting up in Idaho?
No.
Did you hear this story? You probably maybe you
I
heard
thought
it.
you said it on
Yeah.
here.
Did I? Mm-hmm. I told it on here.
I don't know if you told it on here, but
I remember talking about it.
I think you told us the night that we had that spam. The
Oh, did I?
Figgy
Did I tell you
pudding.
the story about the gutting and everything?
I'm pretty sure, but tell it again.
So,
Can't be any worse.
True.
well, this one's funny at least. So we went boar hunting up in Idaho, which I didn't know that there were Russian boars in Idaho, but apparently there's lots because we got 8 of them.
It's
Holy
a ranch,
crap.
yeah. They have a ranch up there.
And anyway, the first that was shot, they started field dressing it, and Carlton, our good buddy, I should say, he wasn't the one to shoot it, but the guy that shot it, he was gonna teach him how to field dress this pig,
Yeah.
because he wanted to learn. And so he goes over to the pig, and he's like, "Okay, you gotta grab it, and get ready to make the first incision." And so he grabs it and lifts it up, and he's like, "What are you grabbing that for?" And he looks down, and he's got the dick. And he's like, "Oh!"
You notice that that leg looked different than the other 4 legs?
I just picture, what are you grabbing that for?
Yeah, what are you grabbing that for? Oh, and he realized, like, so then, they start cutting down the rib cage, and
Yeah.
I honestly thought I stayed quite a ways away because I thought I would get really queasy and sick, and I was so shocked that I didn't. And it was so incredibly shocking how realistic horror films are. Like when
A
you
lot of them
watch,
use pig stuff.
well, when you watch a horror film and you're watching these things happen, you're like, "Oh yeah, that looks fake." No, dude, that is what it looks like in real life.
So when you cut down the ribs, did you have to break the ribs or anything?
Well, they didn't break the ribs. They just gutted it.
Just gutted it.
So, but anyway, they're cutting it and they're opening, and and Carlton's instructing him. He's like, "Okay, you have to be very careful because if you don't want to cut too deep, you want to cut into the belly and cut the have the acid spoil the meat, all this stuff." And so he's telling him, and by the way, side note, this boar had gigantic testicles. I'm talking huge.
Rocky Mountain oysters? No.
And anyway, so they're cutting down
Yeah.
and removing these parts, and they're making these cuts, and all of a sudden he nicks this line, and this white stuff just sprays him right in the face,
Oh, no.
and he's like, and it's like a webbing, and he's like, "What is that?" And he's like,
Money shot.
and Carlton's like, "I think we all know what that is," and he's like, "No!"
Was it really?
Oh yeah, bro got blasted in the face.
Who's that? That death nut, dude. That pig was going out with a vengeance.
Death nut.
And it was like a thick webbing, dude. Like it looked like Spider-Man. Like
Cut your gravy.
anyway, so they finished gutting it all out,
That's what we call
and
it.
the whole joke was that the pig got the last laugh. Well, then fast forward 2 weeks, and Carlton sends me and Josh video of he went in because it was a business partner that they had taken on this hunting trip with us, and he arrived back at the business and had pickled the testicles in the jar because they had, went and got the meats all done.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he had this jar of pickled testicles, and he sets it down on the table, and he wants to eat one. So then there's a video of this guy chomping down on this testicle.
No.
Yeah. And so, because he wanted the last laugh.
No.
But I still
Got your testicles, buddy. Who's laughing now? Still the pig.
Anyway, that was the hunting
When you
story.
said that shot into the face reminds me. Have you ever seen the movie Run Fat Boy Run? Hilarious. It's got Simon Pegg in it, and he's training to run a marathon. And he's out running with his brother-in-law, and he ends up getting this huge old nasty pussy sore or whatever on his foot. And he's like, "You need to pop it," to his brother-in-law. And he's like, "No, I can't pop it." And he goes, "No, you need to. We need to get rid of it." So the brother-in-law gets a needle and he pops it. And it shoots all over his face. And all of a sudden the guy just goes, "Oh, that's the second grossest thing I've ever had on my face."
So yeah, there's the pig testicles.
Good heavens.
Yeah, they were huge. Wow. And then there's the him eating them.
Oh, no, they are veiny suckers.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
Oh.
You want me to tell you something?
I see.
They pop when you bite into them.
All right, well,
And look, there they are in the mason jars.
if this is
I forgot
payback,
that there was one of each.
Oh, you had to have 2 mason jars for that?
Huge boys, one for each, man. I'm talking softballs.
if this is payback for my entire podcast, then you got me.
You're welcome.
That is horrible.
I think we're all a bit queasy now.
Yep. Well, that's a wrap for tonight. Hashtag pig testicles.
There you go. Hashtag pig testicles.
What's the like culinary name for them?
Culinary.
Well, because you
Rocky
call
Mountain oysters?
Rocky Mountain oysters.
Those
is
are
like
bull
buffalo.
testicles.
It's cattle.
Or bull, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ritual to becoming a steer.
Gross.
Legit, my stomach is like.
Yeah, this is great. So, anyways, if you enjoyed this podcast, give us a thumbs up and a like and a share. And if you didn't, give us a thumbs up and a like and a share anyways. Go back and check out some other podcasts we put out. I think you guys are really going to enjoy us if you're the first time around here. We do anything and everything. So
Yeah. Coming up soon, a murder podcast. We need to do
Yep.
one.
Yeah.
we're doing a murder podcast and
We may have a small pause
yep.
before our next one comes
Oh, yeah.
out. We don't know.
Got
Got a lot coming
Just
up
come
in the
back
near
and
future.
check, you know?
Yep, just
Yeah.
keep checking. There might be some small breaks in between, and
Or you know what? You don't even need to check. Just hit that notification bell down below and make sure your setting is set to all notifications.
do that. But also come back and check. And if there's not one, go back and watch one of our old ones.
There you go.
See?
Support the channel even while we're on a brief pause.
Yes.
Watch our watch our catalog.
Yes, go back
Loads
and
of
watch
good
your
content.
favorite episode,
Yeah.
which I hope is this one.
No.
Probably not. I don't know. I think the previous one was pretty good.
Yeah, that's what was
There was a
funny.
moment in there where I think we all about died laughing except for one of us.
I just want to go home.
All right, on that note, have a good night. Ciao.
Love you guys.
Arrivederci.
Thanks for being part of this crowd.
Last part?